Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Halley, do you see me live on the group?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Facebook? Morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to start in 2 seconds. Halley, do you see us live on Facebook? I don't see it.
Yep, I see it. And I just posted some stuff. We already have some people on there. Okay.
Do you see it, Halley?
Yep, I said, look,
Okay, I don't see it, so you're going to be in charge of the questions.
got it. I can do that.
Okay, morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. Okay, it is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So, what are we talking about, ladies?
Our business.
What are we talking about? Business planning. Finish 2020 strong.
We're halfway through the year. You've been hearing that from all of us, right? And I think it's important that even if we did business planning before, at the beginning of the year, last fall, that we're reevaluating our businesses. I think all of us think that that's important right now. So.
Yeah, and you know, the reason that we also call our presentation our presentation today, life and business planning, it's you know, I don't believe in differentiating. You know, you don't clock out from being who you are at or check out at 5 p.m. or whatever time, and you becoming turning to be someone else, right? I'm not saying that you have to work 24/7, but I'm saying that you have to live life with full passion and commitment to who you are as a person, and that carries all throughout, right? So, so let's start. We are going to go through basically three parts of the presentation with Halley, Stephanie, and myself, and we're going to focus on fundamentals, and just the 101 how to, and then we're going to practice how you can actually put all those pieces of the puzzle together into an actual feasible plan, in using either old school paper or technology, or combination of both, whatever you choose to do. And then we'll talk some juice, some mindset as well, and go from there. If you have any questions, I know that most of you are watching us live on the Facebook group, so feel free to type in your questions, etc. And let's do it. So, Halley, what's up with that? No more SMART goals?
There's no more SMART goals. So if you guys have that in your dialogue and in your business plan, you're old school. You're out of date, right? Especially with what happened to our industry during COVID. It's really important that we're going to add a few more letters onto those goals. So everyone's heard of the SMART goals, but actually we want to have smarter goals, right? So setting your goals is so important to make sure that you're really having a gauge of what means success to you. It's important to be able to celebrate that. And in order to be able to do that, we really need to break your goals down to a much more specific type a very specific type setting. You want things to be very specific. You want them to be measurable. You want them to be action oriented. You want them to be realistic, timed. And then my favorite part is smarter, which you want to evaluate and review those goals. I think even more importantly now with what has happened to our industry, it's you can't just set your goals and have all of your day-to-day activities revolve around those. You need to be constantly evaluating and assessing your progress. It's not failure, right? If you have a goal to sell 20 homes by the end of the year and you're seeing that you're on track to sell 10 because of what happened in the market, evaluate and review that to make it more attainable and more sustainable. Meny is going to show you some fantastic ways that you can break down to be able to set those goals in command, to be able to make them, much more at your fingertips and on a day-to-day basis. But always use things as your resource that you have here at KW. So your resources to set your goals are going to be your TLs. They're going to be the MREA, right? Use the business economic model to make those goals very specific and measurable. So let me give you an example of what's not a smarter goal, right? I want to earn $100,000 or I want to earn $200,000. Why is that not a smarter goal? Well, number one, it doesn't have a time base to it, right? If you want to earn 200K, is that by the end of the year? Is that by the end of the week or by the end of the month? It's important to have those time-specific guidelines, right? It also really helps break down if you keep things on a macro scale and then use smarter goals and smarter sets to set up the smaller things that are going to help you achieve that goal. So maybe you have a general goal to just get to know command better to utilize in your business. A smarter goal that you can tack on with that is, I'm going to learn the opportunities section of command by the end of the month, right? So that's going to be something that's going to be smarter. Then at the end of the month, if you haven't achieved that, make sure you evaluate and review and say, do I have time blocking set up in my day to be able to work on command every day? Do I have a meeting set with my TL to help explain how I can leverage this into more transactions? So just keep in mind that smarter goals don't have to be big goals, right? But they can also be personal goals. Maybe one of your goals is to be able to pay off your home loan, or it's to buy an investment property. Again, use this model to make that much more attainable, because you're going to really be able to evaluate and celebrate your success when things are much more specific like this and they're much more measurable. Also, when you're working with a coach or your TL, of course, all of us, it's easier for us to help hold you accountable to a smarter goal, right? It's going to be much easier for us to have check-ins with you when we know that there's a time stamp on this. It's going to be much easier for us to be able to help hold you accountable if those goals are action-oriented, because we can see you doing the action and the activity. So if you guys have heard of SMART, change that out of your vocabulary. Move on to smarter goals, because it's really going to help you in the long run. Again, don't see it as failure. See it as being more successful by evaluating and reviewing them and making them more attainable, right? So, Meny, do you have smarter goals or SMART goals?
I think, first of all, I like the smarter, that addition of the can make like a pirate. But I think that by definition, by default, and that become by design, you have to add the into your smart life, because if you don't get the time, if you don't find the time, if you don't get a chance to understand what it is that you're doing and how you're performing, and go back and track it, then you really miss out on your potential. And even people who are out there, and I meet and I talk and I interview and I, learn from a lot of very successful realtors out there. We have amazing talent in our offices, and those who are really, and some of them are very successful, but those who are really committed to the smarter part, those are really always excel and always one step ahead. Mm-hmm. Because they're, and some of them are either have accountability or have, coaching, etc. But they, or they have just enough self-discipline to assess every step of the way, right? And we're gonna get into that as well as we go into the presentation. So let me show you some parts to back to the smarter, right? And what kind of tools. And some of you familiar with those tools. Some of you have been using them, or maybe you have not. And everything you see over here is pretty much a breakdown of the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the red book that Gary Keller wrote years back. And you really need to assess where you're at right now and where you want to go. Or if you brought into the business, is where you want to go. And this is the economic model. It's a really, very, really easy breakdown, easy flow of how it looks like. And let me actually try and go over here to, I'll share the actual formula so we can play with this for a minute. Can you see my screen? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the blue fonts over here, the blue numbers are changeable. You can change this, okay? And then type in on the chat or whatever if you want to get a copy of this sheet. It's a live Google sheet, so I can just send you the link and you can download that and play with this and modify. And as I mentioned, every blue field over here is changeable, right? So let's say, hey, first of all, is like, what is a goal? Like how much GCI? And this is by gross commission income, right? And those are formula as well. You can see over here, every Excel file. This is just to have those pre-made formulas, so it's just gonna make it much easier for you. Like you won't have to go to the torture of making, do math, any of that. But let's say, your goal is to make, whatever. Let's say, $350,000 gross commission income. Okay, great. Now, the second part is to go and change those numbers over here. So I usually go from the bottom to the top. So you can, ratio buyers and sellers. So let's just, for the sake of this discussion, let's keep it 50-50, right? And actually, let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. It might be somewhat, okay, that's the best I can do. So, I won't go too much over borders and won't be able to see all of the page. Is this better, Halley, just a little bit? Stephanie? Okay.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So once again, this field is the, buyers and sellers, 50-50 or whatever it is that you work. If you have more buyers and more sellers, commission percentage, normally buyers 2.5, sellers, you have to find your average. It might be a bit lower than 2.5. Some of you out there are charging 3% commission consistently, right? So it's going to be more than 2.5. Average sales price. What is your average sales price? Or if you don't really have average sales price yet, what is the demographic, geographic area that you work in, right? Like as GeoFarm or Sphere, etc. What is their average sales price? Let's say you say, my sellers actually it's about $850, and my buyers is it's about $600,000. Great. This is the example for all right. And those are now conversions. We'll get to that afterwards. But those are like industry average conversions. Conversions basically tells you if we start from the top over here, how many, let's say on the listing side, how many appointments are you having in order for you to take a listing? Okay, so let's say 85%, or just to make it round, let's say 80%. So for every 10 appointments, you're gonna get 8 listings. That's a conversion example, right? And then the next conversion is how many listings that you have are gonna sell. Okay, so over here it says, for example, 65%, right? Let's just make it round once again, like it's 70%. So for every 10 listings, 7 will sell. Maybe some just overpriced or expired or whatever the case might be. On the other side, same thing with buyers, right? Buyer appointments to actual buyer agreements, okay? Or actually when you start to work with the buyer, and then how many buyers until you actually close the escrow, all right? So those are conversions. If you don't know your conversion, you can use those average numbers, or I'm going to show later on how you can leverage our technology that is out there for us with Command to use that industry average. It just once again was done for you guys as well. Now, if you remember the economic model of the MREA, there's a breakdown over here. So when you earn a GCI, right, it's not really what you make. This is the gross. We have to factor in other elements that are about, once again, this is industry average statistically that KW studied for many years among many producers out there around the nation. So about 30% is going to be your expenses. Now, if you're going to say, if one of you out there, made 350 last year or what have you, so I didn't spend 100,000, I spent 200,000. Or someone's going to say, I didn't spend 100,000, I spent, maybe 50,000. It's all good. Well, not good on the overspending, but it's all good about what you have. You just have to go back to the drawing table and assess. And we don't have it over here really, but you need to go back to the MREA, and I urge you to go and just go to Amazon afterwards, or simply to kellerinc.com. That's the Keller publication company, or the website, kellerinc.com, ink.com, or Amazon once again, and just buy the MREA, right? And because it's really is the 101 of how to build real estate business as a business, not just to get a license and start to chasing deals. You really build a business. That's the big difference between how we do it and how others are doing it, right? Or how you want to do it and how others are choosing to do it. So they're going to see the breakdown of the entire, basically, what expenses should look like and be like, right? So that's the average, about 30%. 30% should be cost of sales, right? Now, here's the cool thing about you're with KW. So by default, you have an advantage here because we have a cap, okay? So cost of sales is mostly, how much you pay, the commission that you paid. Now, if you're part of a team, or let's say that you're maybe, you work on referrals, or you have a business partner, or what have you, then, you're going to have more than just the cap because you're sharing more of your commission with someone else, right? Us as a company, average cap in Southern California is $30,000. That's the average cap. Doesn't include the $3,000 royalty, right? So, but you can add that as well to the math. And so that's pretty much where you should stop the cost of sales. So if you look over here, if the average is 30%, and someone, that gross 350, it's not really 100, it's 30. So where does those extra 70,000 goes? Well, to your net. How cool that is, right? And once again, that's another one of the reasons that you're with this company, not just the main reason. And once again, you have to factor in all those pieces, as I mentioned, of who do you share your commission with, right? And then lastly, should be about 40% or more, of course, if and when you cap, is the net income, and that's really how much you take, right? So basically, and you know, in the expenses, usually we don't factor in taxes, so you have to add that to the top of the equation. If you're making that much, by the way, actually, if you're making in average more than 40, 50,000, I would say, you know, yeah, whatever, 40, 50,000 a year, you should get incorporated. You should talk to your CPA or reach out to us if you need a good recommendation for a legit CPA, and get incorporated, open your LLC, at least LLC, so you can enjoy the tax benefit, right? You can enjoy more expenses or declare more expenses legally. And if you over the bracket of the, you know, 120, 130, some CPAs will say 150, then you should definitely go S corp, right? I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm not a tax expert. I don't ever want to be a tax expert. But that's, you know, once again, by listening to and how I operate, I mean, and many other producers operate, definitely want to get incorporated for sure. Okay, not just to protect you and your business, but also to enjoy the tax benefits. Okay, that's why once again we don't really factor taxes over as part of the game. And yeah, I see that some of you wrote that you want a copy. I will share that with you. Let me actually share this right now so you can download that, okay, afterwards, and just make a copy or whatever you wanna do. Perfect. Copy link. Okay, you see, as we speak, just click on the link, and then you can there we go. You can just, you know, save as, make a copy, whatever you want to do. Okay, well, you know, have fun with this. Halley, Stephanie, any questions that you see? Okay, so
Any questions?
okay, so yeah, and guys on the Facebook groups, in the live broadcast, just one person is enough just to write down. Yeah, I opened the link and it works for me fine. So I know that it's worked fine. If not, I'm gonna email you guys afterwards. Not a problem.
Also, if you have any questions filling it out, you know, please reach out to us. We're here for you to help explain the numbers, you know, or I don't understand how to get my conversion, or how do I figure that out, or I haven't done any transactions. What should I use? You know, please reach out to us, because we're here to help you figure this out. And like I was just saying about the smarter goals, you know, it's important for you to really understand what you need to actually do in order to achieve that GCI. So please reach out to us. We're here for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you both. So the next step is, you know your numbers, right? Mocha, thank you. You see, she said it works. Great. Next one is write it down. Write it down. So you know everything that you build. So you know your GCI. You know how many closings you need to do. You break it down by buyers and sellers, etc. Hold on for a second. Let me just go to my presentation. Just make it slightly bigger so you can see what I'm looking at as well. That might be too big. Don't panic. Okay. That's fine like that? Okay, perfect. I'll take it as a yes. So you see, you actually break it down. You're going to chunk it down. I want to make, you know, that's just a random example, almost close to what we saw earlier. But this person, you know, I want to make 330 GCI, and this is the volume, and this is the commission, and this is my split, and I need to close that much units. This is the breakdown between buyers and seller by average sales price, and you know, lead generation. If you have a database, if you have a farm, you need to, you know, put the numbers out there, or how much you want to grow your numbers to, etc. And you know, marketing plan as well, like how many times a month you want to hit your farm, etc., etc., etc. And this is the yearly, as you can see. Okay, divide all those numbers, all this data by 12, and you're going to get a monthly breakdown, which is more, you know, more attainable. It's like more, okay, you know, 15 mil volume. It's not like, wow, you know, I don't really sell 15 million properties, right? So, well, it doesn't really work like that. Just break it down by price point. But the monthly makes it more user-friendly, if you may. So, this individual needs to, sell only 1 million a quarter every month in order eventually to earn 330 a year, right? Or in order to sell about almost 20 units, etc. by this example, right? And also the breakdown over here, once again shows you on a database level, on the touches level, and then exactly how it works. So you take the year, you take the month. Now you're gonna break it down. Some will say 4 weeks. Some will say 5 weeks because some months have 5 weeks. But this is the average plan. Once again, because it's pretty much like repeat. And if you look at once again, I know a lot of people, but look at people that practice 101, like 101 real estate. It's like just repeat. We had a session recently. We had a few great agents. Doug Pitts was one of them, right? The Calabasas producer, and he's been just once again on repeat mode for many years. But there's a reason that he's a mega agent, and he's doing it very successfully by being humble about the repetition, but also to be committed to the end results as well, right? And now the point is not that is Doug or people like that level of production do everything as we just showing it to you. Maybe not, maybe yes, but there's the art of repetition. Those tools that we're going to show you right now only help you to be more self-disciplined to get to the next step, right? So as you can see, when you break it down by the week, you really say, look, this is what I want to generate for each week. So here, this person, for example, when I make 140 contacts every week, if you chunk it down, it's about 30 per day. If it's only like 4 days of lead generation days that you can consider, right? And so on and so forth. So that's how you really break down those pieces. The blue fields, by the way, is what we use to add the personal goals. As I mentioned at the beginning, I do believe that you have to incorporate a lifestyle of a entrepreneur and just someone who's want to achieve success in business, also achieve success in life, or vice versa, right? You can differentiate. So if you really want to be committed to, hold on, I'm echoing for some reason. Okay. If you really want to be committed to repetition and success and transparency and high ethics in business, well, you probably have to practice the same way in your personal life, right? And when I say personal life, it's not, by any means like Netflix moments, right? On the couch at 9 or 10 p.m. It's how do you treat other people? How do you treat your friends and loved ones? How do you exercise? Do you have hobbies that you're passionate about besides real estate, right? Do you take care of yourself properly by what you eat and how you talk to yourself, etc. So it really goes to different depths that Stephanie will touch later on. So once again, pretty much this is the 101 business plan. Put it on paper, break it down, and chunk it down to the level that you can achieve it by the day, right? You're gonna have a plan by the day. So every day you're gonna win the day without hesitation, and you know that every step, every day that you do, will take you eventually to that. I want to earn that million a year. I want to earn that million a year. And if you think it's possible, you're right. If you think it's not possible, so be more purposeful, because a lot of people out there are doing it. So it is possible, right? Any thoughts about that, Stephanie, Halley?
No, it's like you said, it's chunking it down, right? Because sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're looking at the goal as a whole for the entire year. So it's very, very important to start off with your economic model like you did, and then you chunk it down into months and then to weeks, and then you know what you need to do on a daily basis. So it really keeps you from being overwhelmed by, oh my God, I got to make 1,000 contacts this month. No, you have to make, this is what you need to do on a daily basis. So it's perfect.
And I know Stephanie's going to talk more about mindset, but do things to trick your brain a little bit. If, setting up all those daily tasks and making a checklist off with a pen and pencil really satisfies you and it feels like you've completed something, do that. Right? Or you can make digital to-do lists and task lists very easy on most of your PCs and your phones. And then again, Meny's going to talk about command, but make sure that you're feeling complete by getting some of those things done. Just like Meny said, break them down into small, palatable pieces to be able to propel you to feel like you've accomplished something. Because sometimes this job can feel like, we're working all day, and if we don't have a deal closed by the end of the day, what did we do, right? But maybe you made more calls than you did yesterday. Maybe you set up your CRM and your drip campaign, that you didn't have the day before. Just find whatever way you need to feel like you've accomplished something and have completed it. Because many of us have those throughout the day. We just don't always stop and assess that.
Yeah, well said. Quick note, by the way. I just I refreshed this page over here. So if you got, well, all of you got, at least on the Facebook, the link. Refresh the page because it's a web page, right? Refresh it. Now you'll be able to edit it. But please please do me a favor because it's now shared with all of you. Just I'm going to show you right now. Hold on, let me just actually share my screen, the other screen here. Can you see the economic model? Can you see the economic model? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So when you go here, now you'll be able to share it, to edit it, because I changed the access. Go over here, and some of you are already playing with this. Good job. Go over here to file, and then make a copy. Okay, so once again, once you're in here, go to File, and then make a copy. Okay, then make a copy, rename it, do whatever, and then play with your new copy, and then close the one that I showed with you so it won't mess up to other people as well. Cool? Cool. Good job, everybody. Thank you. Okay, so let me go to my command. And the next part I'm going to show you is the actual, how you leverage technology to put everything in one place. And I'm telling you, it's so. Mute yourself, guys, please. Stephanie, Halley, there's a lot of background noise. Let me show you how to leverage technology. It makes it very, very simple, and they really made it so visually appealing that I actually go every day just to to play with this and figure out if they added more features, because they're changing things by the day. So this is command. That's the main page. You can either scroll down, and on the main page, because this is a really core piece of you as a producer, it's going to show up on your main panel. This is exactly what it is, and it's just the goals versus actuals, right? Now, I don't produce myself. I don't sell, and so you won't see here actual production, right? My year-to-date is going to be zeros. You're only going to see over here the leads. It's because I test leads, or I do ad campaigns for the offices, etc. So those mostly going to be either just test leads from trainings or actual agent leads, recruits, right? And those are like goals that I just put for the test. So I'm going to show you. But if you are in production, you're going to see over here different scales, different numbers, right? So simply this command, and the home page is going to show you that part. Now, how can you change it? How can you modify that? Okay, well, you can either click over here on goals versus actuals. I'm going to click on it for a second just for you to see what happens. And you see it goes to this page, and up here it says goals. Or I'm back on the home page. I always like to click on the red button over here because I never remember those shortcuts. So here I go to reports. I'm going to click on reports. Now, by default, it will show me my database report, okay? Which is another very powerful piece of what KW came up with, because they focusing their energy and your attention on your fuel tank, which is the database. Okay, yeah, that is, by the way, my database. I have close to 40,000 contacts on my database. Okay, some of you have maybe as much, maybe even more, maybe less. I'm going to have less than that, but that's real people that I have on my database, 40,000 people. Now, back to our topic is the goals, right? So you're going to go over here to goals. Click on that. It will take you to the same spot that you saw earlier. Just on the dashboard, it's just a shortcut to go to that place. Okay? Now, next what I'll do, I'm going to move my pen over here so I can see the screen. Here, as you can see, it shows you the goals versus actual, but as you saw earlier. And then the profit tracker, okay? And then the activities breakdown. Look how cool that is. There's nothing more that you need. And this is, once again, a visual translation of the MRA book and everything I showed you earlier. So how do you actually go about it, right? So here on the goals, you can either drop down to do revised, go back to 19 to see what it was. In my specific case, I didn't really put anything back last year, or put in 2020. And then click on goal settings. Now it will take you to the steps, and it's very similar, as you can see, to when you build a page or your website, etc. They made it very simple step by step. Get started. And then look on the right-hand side. Those are the set goals feature, all the blank fields or the field that you can fill, the fields that you can fill, the data. On the left is the actual visual of what you're going to change. So 2020, what is a goal? So let's say, for the example, let's say we did, $450,000. Many, you said 350. Okay, I want to make more. Fine, whatever. Look, automatically it will break down the expenses for you. You see, you have cost of sales, you got operating expenses. Of course, you can also manipulate those numbers. Let me just change that for a second. Let's say to 350. Okay, and over here, those are the listings. Sorry, just to hold on. Two things. Number one is you have those little information tabs, so you can just click on that, like hover above it, and understand what exactly what it is. Okay. If you don't remember, let's see how they break it down. Basically, it's like how we explained earlier. And those are actually not going to be done automatically for you. You have to type it in, basically. Okay? So you can do the math, or you can put the expenses based on what you think your ratio is, right? So, let's put over here, 105, right? And then cost of sales, let's put over here, just for the sake of example, like let's say $50,000, right? And look on the left over here, what happened. Cost of operating expenses, about 20 or so. Let's bump it up to, like, let's say just 120. Okay, so about 23%. Cost of sales. If I put only the level of the cap, let's say 30K, look how much it is based on the GCI. In average, once again, if you're in a non-capping model, you're looking at 30%, so that's going to cross the 120 again, right? So I put 50 because let's say I'm going to share some commission with co-listed or referrals and what have you. So this is the breakdown, and as you can see at the very end, it's going to give you also the actual breakdown of the monthly profit goal. So this one over here, the profit goal, that's the net. So as you can see that the GCI based on this net is 520. Some of you that actually even watching us right now, you either crossed the 500,000 already, or this is what he did last year, or this is what he maybe do in average every year. So this is the breakdown. And of course, feel free to play with that. And you can even go to 2019 as a goal setting and put the real numbers that you had last year and understand the breakdown of how it looked like, right? Business makeup, so once again, 50-50, maybe you can add leases if you want. Average commission per unit, so listings, buyers, etc. Those numbers are changeable. Those are like much lower than what the average is, but those are once again all changeable, right? Let's just put, for the sake of the example, 10,000 each, which is also like much lower than what you'll get normally in our market. Next, it's going to take us to this really cool feature of conversions. So on the left, this is the visual, shows you like the conversion rates. On the right, you can change it up, okay? And once again, this is the secret sauce. If you're able to really know, even close to your conversions, you're on the 1%, even if you're not earning as the 1%er yet, but you're there because you have a knowledge that most people don't know or don't care about or not aware of, right? So, and you can see like every level over here shows you once again, what are you looking at, right? So the first part, leads to contacts to appointments to appointments kept, that like people didn't cancel on you, etc. Appointments to actual contracts, contracts to escrows to closed units. So this is pretty much the life of a lead, from lead, right, cold, warm, whatever, to actual earned GCI. So that's the flow of the conversions, and what you see over here, the numbers, that's the industry average, so that you can keep or you can change based on what your skill set is. 7, continue, and we're done. Okay, I'll do just what's next, and then I can basically, you can go to do other stuff over here, but I'm going to close this page, and I can review back down here my goals. Okay, so on the right you can see GCI and cost of sales, profit, etc., etc. And of course, you can see over here the goal and the actual. The year to date is the actual one that is going to give you. And if you look right now on your side, you can actually visually see those graphs. You can check it out later of what you had so far. Why is it cool? Because once again, it's very simple to set up and the visual is simple. Number one. Number two is because it's feed from our system. So even if you're not using command, right? Your MCAs, when we run all of our transaction, it goes to the KW system, so it will feed to your command by default. So you can see there all the plans as you wish. So I encourage you to go, follow the steps that we showed with you so far, and go back and build that. Basically plan for the rest, the rest of the year. Any questions that you see coming in, Halley, Stephanie, so far?
No, I think people are just really taking it all in. Again, reach out to us if you need us to break this down for you and to help show you. But this opportunities portion is really important, again, to help hold you accountable, particularly with your leadership and your coaches. So please make sure that you fill those out and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yeah, and if you wonder, so the platform, the command is a live system, so it doesn't change. When you upload something, it will show right away, and when you open opportunities, aka the loop, the transaction, it will translate that. You're also going to see that it's going to reflect on the pipeline of what you have, and when you close a file and it's been recorded. As in the system, it's going to show right away. Like you don't have to wait a month for it to process. It's going to show everything right away. So once again, go back and check it out. And if there's something disconnect and think that you recently sold and closed doesn't show, go to your MCA or go to your TL and inquire. MCA first, they would know the system. and they can look into that as well. Okay, so let's go back to our, not this one. Actually, wait, yeah. Can you see my presentation? Yeah? Does it say right now daily, weekly accountability?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so what will support the muscle? I'm gonna jump in a minute to you back, Stephanie, and then Halley. Okay, so you ready, good to go. COVID never, I say COVID, it's COVID with an accent. COVID never happened, right? Back to somewhat of a regular life, kinda, with the mask, with the face mask, and you're engaged. And just, by the way, as a side note, you guys are crushing it, by the way. Our offices right now are booming. We're opening new escorts every day. You guys picking up more and more listings. Buyers, the last 2 months were off the chart. You guys doubled on buyers compared to last year, every month. So it's been incredible. I'm going to share more stats tomorrow's meeting, 10 a.m. But this is the time for you guys to right now do this hard reset and put everything in writing as the plan of, okay, I had this really bizarre, this really great start for the year, this really bizarre The Walking Dead episode 3 months, and now I'm back to reality-ish. Where do I start? Hard reset, put it in writing, okay, restart your year. So, and make it visible. And then when you have it, I urge you and encourage you to use the technology, because it's only going to make it even more easier for you. But then what? Okay, so be careful not to drop the ball, because that's where most people fall. And that's what differentiates, people say 80-20 rule, I call it the 95-5. But the really 5%ers they have it nailed down, they have the written plan, or they have it by being very systematic, but they're also keep it in shape. They keep it accountable, they're showing up to classes, they teach classes, they ask questions, they're curious. Like, make curiosity your best friend, make it a passion. You always want to know more. And even when you think that you know more, look where to grow and reach out to us. Hey, where else can I get those resources? And as you can see, this is just a snapshot of this week. We do our best to provide you on a weekly basis, good and reliable content, right? But, currently between our 3 offices, what you see is the West Side, Calabasas, and Coastal, but we share everything. As you can see right now, we broadcast live to all of you and to the 4 living people, and we're going to keep on doing more and more and more of that, and we're going to keep bringing good content. And once again, it's important to always keep engaged. And Halley's doing twice a week touches with her coaching, and Stephanie's doing it every morning at 8 a.m. More like accountability, a mix of coaching. So stay connected and feed from the resources that are being given to you. Don't take it for granted, because it's not common out there. It's not. And even if it's out there, some people that they have it just maybe not utilizing it. Maybe some of people in our group are not utilizing it properly, or you will have to pay for it, right? So I urge you that part of the plan is also commit to, if you're super busy, at least 2 trainings a week of some kind. And if you missed it, we always record our sessions. And if you want to take it to the next step, is show up to the daily sessions, accountability, that we have, and be part of it consistently, because it's not just for new agents, it's for all agents. And both Halley and Stephanie have great turnout in their sessions, and it's very productive. High-level coaching as well, and this is an example. They remade Bold. It was in, I think, May. That was the last launch, right? Bold Pivot, Bold Virtual was 4 weeks, 2 days a week, and it was a pretty powerful session. In new format as well. Now, if you're not into Bold, you took it and I took it already 3 times, I want something else, fine, go out there, find this ferry, that ferry, this Buffini, that whatever you think it is. There are great, great coaching programs, great sessions out there. This is an actual coaching session, coaching platform. There is also coaching, right? I always recommend first to look into Maps coaching, which is the KW platform. Why? Am I biased? Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm not getting anything from it, right? But what I do know is that you've been coached by someone that she was where you want to go, or he has a team still, or he owns multiple offices still, and he's going to coach you to the next step, right? Those people have been there, and now they're committed, part of their portfolio of what they do for a living, to help other people to grow. For the fair exchange of some kind of dollar compensation. That's usually how coaching works, right? But yeah, I encourage you to within KW, outside KW. Some KWs actually are coaches, not with Maps, just, and they're good coaches. You reach out, ask if we know anybody, but commit to have someone coaching you. I'm not saying that you have to have it for your entire life, but I do believe that you need to have it for some period of time, and then you can do some, maybe some just, hey, I just want to cleanse, no coaching, no nothing, let me just implement or do whatever, change it up, do it again. Personally, I do it as well in business and also in life. I every few months, or at least 6 months or more, I'll have a personal trainer, and then I'll hit the reset button. I'm gonna, okay, no trainer, I'm just gonna go on autopilot, and then, okay, I need to change it up. Let me try a different type of training and a different trainer, right? Or a mix of, what really works really well for me with something else. So think outside the box, and be brave or be brave, or don't be afraid to try and implement different things that will help you to grow. If you're excited about it, that's growth right there. If you don't have to put money in exchange, but usually quality comes with some kind of a cost, right? Either monetary cost or cost of your time, whatever it is. It's whatever you define as good ROI, return on your investment. But make sure to commit to something, right? So usually when you spend money, we don't just want to waste it. We want to invest it. That's why we come back to coaching. And I'm spending maybe a few more minutes than I should on this one, but only because I really believe, and I can point out agents, I can name some of you out there that you have coaches and you guys are crushing it. And some of you are doing really well or crushing it without a coach. How's it going to look like if you have a coach? That's my point. That's my point, right? So for me personally, it's very exciting because I just know the evolution of maximizing potential, and this is a step that you cannot skip. You have to have a trainer to push you to get the most out of you, right? And the last part on my end is we have Ignite on the 27th, which is a Saturday. It's our famous marathon, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Those are some of the trainers, not all of them. We're going to have actually more. And once again, on the 27th, so it's not this coming Saturday, the following one, and live session on Zoom. We're going to share the link with you guys. It's going to be a fun session, very powerful mix of people, and it's basically going to cover the 12 fundamentals of the real estate. Most of you took Ignite, care about it, don't care about it, but this is a different twist of Ignite, how we do it. And once again, we're going to share it on the platform and inviting you guys to be part of it as well. Halley, Stephanie, any questions that you see so far from our people?
I don't see any questions on my end. What about you, Halley?
No, some folks were just asking if they can get an email to the link of the presentation. So I don't know if we can send that out, Meny, or send out a few of the sheets to those who requested it afterwards, but I'm sure we can accommodate that.
Okay, so I will do it right now because I'm high D and I will forget. So there you go. I just showed you guys on Facebook the link. It's view only, so click on it and then see whatever you want to see over there, the full presentation. Cool, thank you. Stephanie.
Yes.
So when you look at the mirror, what do you see?
I see a powerful lion. I'm a Leo too, so this was like perfect. I love it.
There you go. Perfect.
Did you know?
Talk to us about mindset.
Yeah, so mindset, before I get started on that, I definitely want to piggyback on what Meny had to say about coaching. And coaching is such an integral part of your business. Okay, as we continue to go through the ranks, so to speak, as we're building our business, what took you and got you to the first level, right, is not what's going to take you to the next, and so on and so forth, right? So coaching, I believe in coaching. I'm coached, by Meny, and I have another outside coach. And then also, when I first got into real estate, I immediately knew everybody else knows more than I do, right? And they're going to help me on the path to get where I want to be, right? So I immediately hired a coach, and it did wonders, right? So I just want I think all of you know my belief on that, and I totally wholeheartedly support, Meny and Halley on coaching in every aspect of your life, actually. Okay, so mindset. I know a lot of you have never heard me talk about mindset. So we'll start with a quote, right? Because I do that. So remember that you are in charge of your life. You can do anything that you set your mind to. Get in the right frame of mind, set some goals, and attack. Be proactive and take charge, and remember that you are awesome, right? And that's a quote from Tony Robbins. Okay, so we've gone through the different aspects, setting your goals, the smarter goals, right? And then now getting into the numbers, right? Okay, what does that look like? Why, to make X, Y, Z, then I need to do this on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy. So, but remember, what's the fire in the belly to get you into action, right? Because it all starts here as to why we're moving forward and why we're doing the things that we're doing. So then that starts at the core, right, of you. What's your why, right? And some things that I've mentioned before to people is your past why, right, may not necessarily be your current why. Okay, so really it's a time to reflect. I always say your why should make you cry, right? That's how passionate you should be about the goals that you're setting, because that really sets the fire in your belly to do the actions that you need to do to make the 20 or the 40 or how many ever contacts, and to be able to create that lifestyle that you want. And really it's an opportunity too for you to elevate your actions to match your lifestyle that you desire, right? So it really comes down to your why. And also, we've been talking about, as we're working on the next 6 months of our business, I really want you guys to make sure that you're taking the time to reflect on what the first 6 months have looked like, in addition to the Walking Dead time, right? So we want to make sure, where are we in relationship to the goals that we did set earlier? I know I've had conversations with agents, and they're like, they went back and reviewed their goals because, over the last few months, we've been getting caught up in the minutia. We're getting caught up in the noise of what's happening outside of us, and we kind of, maybe some of us have lost sight on what we were doing and didn't realize that we were still making step towards our goals. And I had a conversation with one agent in particular, and he's like, he went back and reviewed his goals, and he actually is hitting them, right? But he had kind of forgotten about it. So really take that time to reflect, and then, like I said, and recommit to them. So, and then that comes back to your why. And I also want you guys to really dig deep into that. What is your why for now, for the next 6 months? And then what is your end result? right? Your end result as in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, etc. You have the big picture and then you break it down, right? And then with that said, then you be committed to your goal, right? Some of the goals that we set are kind of scary, right? So you look at it as like, oh man, that's getting me out of my comfort zone. Well, that means you're growing, right? And that means that you have a desire to do that. So be dedicated to yourself and have that commitment to yourself and your goals and the life that you want to create for yourself, your families, your friends, your tribe, etc. Right? And it's all about creating that habit. So, set yourself up to win every single day, right? And you do this through your schedule. So we're not necessarily going to go into the schedule right now. We harp on that, and share that with you a lot. But it's really important for you to create a life by design instead of chaos, right? Let you dictate your day instead of the day dictate you, right? We all have these cliches that we use, but they're cliches and sayings for a reason, right? And Meny had brought up also regarding, the different areas. One of our purposes, here as leadership is just to make sure that you accomplish all your goals. And when we say all your goals, that's your lifestyle goals. That's what you want to accomplish. Because remember, real estate is a vehicle for you to do the things that you want to do and that are meaningful to you. So we've talked about the 8 gardens, and we do have that spreadsheet as well that really go through and itemize the different areas of your life that you can have, that you set goals. We talk about spiritual, we talk about health and fitness, finance, retirement, your environment, your like I said, your tribe, whatever is important to you. And it's not like you have to have a huge laundry list in each one, but it's good to look at the different goals that you have in each area, because that also helps create the balance. And then once you have those goals, then, that's what I like about that spreadsheet, Meny, that you have for the 8 gardens, because it breaks it down. Because remember, sometimes if you're like, okay, I want to do XYZ for the 12 months, like we have in our, for our goals, right? We break them down into the 411. And with this particular spreadsheet, our goals in our other areas of our life break it down to see where we're at, right? Like health-wise, like I have in there to do my juicing and do fasting, twice a month, etc. And reflecting on it, I'm like doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot, right? So, but it creates that habit, and have it in front of you. So you always have to have, once you set these goals and you put that action plan together. So when you've been setting your goals and having your why, and sometimes we need help with that accountability, right? So have buy-in with your family, right? Have buy-in with your family or your significant other or your friend or an accountability partner or something, so you can be cheerleaders for one another and they can help you do it when you don't feel like it, right? So you always want to have buy-in and really have that accountability to help you move forward on it. Also, when we circle back to the why, is dig deep, right? I know sometimes it's difficult to dig deep on your why, but be kid-like when you're trying to figure it out. It's like, okay, I want to take vacation, 3 vacations each year. Okay, well, why is that important to you? Well, because it gives me, the freedom, and it allows me to check out, well, what's important to you on that? Well, I would like to take my family with me, and so we can have some alone, some family time. Well, why is that important to you? Does that make sense? Where you just keep digging deeper on that why, and that's what helps create that intense passion as to what you are doing and allows you to have that focus. And then also, in addition to your goals, like Halley and Meny were talking about, you always want to have those in front of you, right? So how many of you out there have reviewed your goals lately? Like, do any of you know what you put down as your goals at the beginning of 2020? Have you reviewed them? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing? I can't see the Facebook page, so I don't know if people are are responding at all, but sometimes we forget, right? So it's very important as you're digging through creating those goals that you actually go back and review them on a daily basis, right? Have it be part of your morning miracle. When you start your morning, have it say, okay, these are my goals. These are the action items that I do to obtain these goals. And then have it part of your evening routine, right? To where you're continually having that in front of you. And then all of a sudden it becomes a habit, right? What are one of the bold laws that we have is be, do, have, right? So when you have the why, when you have the goals, when you have the way you want your lifestyle to be in all the areas of your life, when you have that in front of you, you're behaving and acting as if, right? Because you're reminded constantly of, yes, I am this person. I am living this way. I am creating this. I am creating this particular charity. I have a voice here, whatever it is that resonates with you. Because, right, we have one life to live, right? That's it. Because, we have two. Because remember that quote I gave you guys one time? We have two lives, right? One, and the second one starts when we realize we only have one. Something like that. I butchered it a little bit, but you get the point, right? We just do the best that you can on a daily basis to accomplish the goals that you really want, and make sure that they are your goals and they align with you and not somebody else's, right? It's really, really important. Here, let me go to my notes. So do you guys have, is that all kind of making sense and going through finding out what is important to you? Okay. So, and it's all about, setting your intentions and get into massive action, right? Because it's like, okay, I have these goals, so it's time to step in to your greatness, right? And you have to ask yourself, are you ready, willing, and able to step into your greatness and go after with absolute gusto as to accomplish your goals? And it's creating that habit. So also, to make you feel good while you're accomplishing these goals, we always talk about educating, inform, and being of service. In our particular industry, we are being of service to our clients, our prospects, etc. So we want to make sure that we are reaching out to people, right? Because you guys always feel better when you're talking to people, and that's our number one job, right? And so the more you talk to the people, the better you feel about yourself and the closer you are to your goals and living the lifestyle that you want. You see how it's all a tremendous ripple effect of how your why goes into your goals, creates your lifestyle, helps other people. It's all intertwined. And so the more that you get really passionate about your core why, it will be the fuel that gets you into activity mode to live the life that you desire. Halley, Meny, do you have anything to add on to what I've gone through so far?
I think that once again, back to how we opened the conversation, it's a lifestyle. You have to choose a side and either be committed, and in order to go into some kind of a vicious cycle of self-improvement and nourishing and growth in challenges, and with success you're gonna have comes more challenges and what have you, or you're gonna be in a different cycle that is a cycle of some kind of, I don't know, the other side of it. And any side is okay. You have to make a choice, right? But once you make a choice, you have to be committed. And that's back to my point that environments like ours are extremely important to success because we support it and we feed it, we nourish it, and we believe in it. So well said, and thank you for sharing that, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, and then I'll do another quote. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just was going to say, you touched on a lot of really interesting, very relevant points. And there's a reason that Stephanie and I do our morning mindset and check-ins at like 8 o'clock. Stephanie does it at 7:30 because it sets your brain up right for the day. So make sure that you are participating in those as much as possible because there's really good information being shared in that. Both of us are very happy and welcome to have you, but start your day off with a little bit of positivity in that way. Start your day off with market updates. I'm doing market updates during my portion too, so the numbers of the area. But it's important to wake up early and get that going right at the beginning of the day, because that's really where you're going to be the most fresh brained and ready to be able to receive all of that positive information.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, it's important how you bookend your day, right? I mentioned it a little bit regarding your miracle mornings and then your morning routine and your evening routine. It's important to be centered and really start the day on a positive note. Remember when this whole thing that started, we were like, okay, take your meds, right? And that wasn't like Xanax or anything like that. It was meds, meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep, because we have to take care of us before we can take care of anybody else. It is very important, and it allows you to lean in and step into your power and take control of the day. Yeah, is life going to happen? Absolutely, but it's how we deal with it, etc. And at least we can control us, right? We get to control the controllables and create our circumstances. So one quote I wanted to share with you guys, Jordan Belfort: successful people are 100% convinced that they are masters of their own destiny. They're not creatures of circumstance, they create circumstance. If the circumstances around them suck, they change them, right? So change them. Change your circumstances. I think I mentioned this before in one of my classes from, oh my God, I'm totally forgot the movie. But anyway, change your stars, right? We all have that ability to do so, and you can change the stars in any way that you want. And remember, what you focus on expands. So that can be positive or it can be negative, right? You either focus on what you have or what you don't want, right? And like the Henry Ford, what Meny said at the beginning is, if you believe that you can, you can. If you believe that you can't, you can't, right? And everything starts here. So I just, you all are so capable of creating whatever level of success in your real estate business and your personal life as you want. So you just embrace it and take charge of it and own it and go out and just be that Lion King, right? Or queen.
Exactly, both. Yeah, pick one. Thank you, Stephanie. And I want to share one last thing. And Halley, just kind of like in 2-minute rundown, share with us this checklist about business skills assessment.
Yeah, so a lot of you guys are finding a little bit of extra time on your hands when you're not in the middle of a transaction. So I'm actually going to edit this so it's a little bit more pertaining to us as a brokerage. But this is something I've used for a while in my coaching. And do something like this to make yourself aware of some of the things that maybe you need to work on or revisit. So whether or not you either have something in place or you don't have something in place, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, what that confidence level is based on that particular type of their industry and business, it's going to allow you to be able to help set those goals. So even breaking it down to a very micro level of not just do you have a listing appointment, but are you placing your coming soons on the KWLS? Are you utilizing, the drip campaigns in command? Do you have a thought out, rehearsed, confident buyer or seller questionnaire? Okay. something like this is going to really allow you, it's going to be very transparent of some of the parts of your business that maybe you haven't focused on in a while. And also, if any of you teams are listening, this is a great activity to do with your teammates and you yourself on the micro or the macro scale of having a team, to figure out where their process is with each of these activities. So I'm going to edit this. We can send it out, maybe Many, when you send out the MREA, or I can send it out later today. But if you can, take some time, go through, do this little bit of a business assessment. Again, it's going to ask you questions. It's going to say yes, no. And in the comments, write on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident you are. So again, you may have a listing presentation, but maybe it's not the best it could be. Maybe it doesn't include all the forward living fantastic things that we provide. Maybe it's outdated. Maybe you want to take a piece of paper and make it virtual and put it in one of the cool virtual folders to send to someone. But look at that. It's going to help show you where and what you can work on, because there's always something we can improve on and make better. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Halley. Yeah, and I did share that specific PDF, so you guys can already, check it out, download that, and Halley's gonna share a more revised one whenever we get a chance. We're gonna email that out as a follow-up to our meeting with the attachments for the presentation. We did share everything with you guys, whoever's watching us on Facebook. So go to the chat and look for all those 3 different links for the presentation and the checklist that Halley just shared, and the Google Sheet with those economic model from the MREA that you can edit. Make sure that you press on File and then Save As. Make a copy of it, if you don't mind. Stephanie, Halley, any last thoughts?
No, just go for it. Just do it.
Just go for it. Exactly. Yeah. No, but I want to thank you both. I want to thank you both for taking the time and put your thoughts and energy and insight, and whoever took the time as well out there to watch us and take the first step into recommitting to go back on track. Just once again, just break it down, make it simple, not too overwhelming, leverage technology to help you out, and really think big, think ahead. Do the next 6 months plan, do the next 12 months plan, whatever works for you. But the message is, let's finish 2020 how it started, right? And let's live life by design, not by what it feels like or looks like or whatever, and be the leader of your own path, your journey, and dictate whatever destiny you should have. What's the outcome of your life, versus just to think that, oh, that's how it should be, or it is, or that's how it is right now. No, because some people are doing really, really well because that's what they want to do. So with that, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you, and reach out to us if you need more information, and looking forward to see you in those coaching sessions as well. So be well, stay sharp. Thanks everybody.
Thank you guys.
Have a good day. Hey, Ronan, thank you. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.